No.
Good evening. Shall I draw the coffin, sir?
Well, still rotten out, is it?
Yes, sir. There's rain and quite a sharp northeasterly wind. Quite abnormal for the first day in May. More cool than the fire, sir.
Coal fires in May. The miners out on strike. The rest of the country jumping on the bandwagon. What a mess.
I gather there's still hope of a settlement, sir. The trade union leaders are at Downing Street at this very moment. It's just been announced in the wireless.
Really? It should never have been allowed to come to this. A general strike is a direct affront to the government. An insult to democracy. Ought to be forbidden by law.
Oh, I agree with you, sir. I feel deeply ashamed of my fellow working man.
Oh, you, Hudson. You've got nothing to be ashamed about. It's not your fault. No, it's the fault of men like Cook, Thomas, Bevan, the so-called leaders, having the nerve to hold the country to ransom, threaten the liberty of the ordinary, decent people.
Well, we're ready for them, aren't we, sir? I understand the government have been laying in stocks of food and essential supplies for some months.
Oh, yes, we're ready for them. We'll win, all right. What will it cost them? Oh, Wells gone stark, staring mad.
Another whiskey, sir.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm sorry.
Dinner will be at 8 o'clock, sir.
Well, all Army leave has been cancelled, and there's troops roaming about all over the country.
Yeah, 2 battleships sitting in the Mersey.
Yeah.
What for?
Preparing for the fight to come, Daisy.
Who told you all that rubbish?
It's not rubbish, Rose. We got it from the Sergeant of Marines in the pub. It's common knowledge.
Yeah, Sergeant said they're probably going to call out reservists.
Well, you're not going, Eddie. You've done with all that. You're not fighting anymore.
Might have no choice, Daisy. Anyway, I'm ready if they want me.
But who's fighting who? Yeah, go on, Frederick. Tell us. Who are you going to fight? The miners?
Miners? All the others? Bus drivers?
Like bus drivers.
Anybody who goes on strike, Ruby. It's not us that started it. We're just doing our duty for the country. Right, Edward?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
That's enough of that, lad, both of you. There is no sense in anticipating the worst.
That's right. You tell him, Mr. Hudson. Come on, Ed. Let's go to the news.
Well, we heard it in the pub, Mr. Hudson. There's a lot of argument going on.
How many times have I told you not to be influenced by pub talk, Edward? There are decisions being made even now by responsible people in Camp Debate. I'm still hopeful that common sense will prevail.
Well, with respect, Mr. Hudson, it was you who told us only yesterday all miners was Reds.
They are not. Me Uncle Len's a miner, and he isn't a red. He is not Mr. Hudson.
I gained that information in good faith from Mr. Winston Churchill, Ruby, quoted in yesterday's newspaper.
Oh, quiet. There's a bulletin coming through.
There is a message from the Prime Minister.
Mr. Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin's going to speak.
Be steady. Be steady.
That's not Mr.
Be
Baldwin's
steady,
voice.
Be steady. Remember that peace on earth comes to men of goodwill.
They are say peace. They're talking about peace.
The strike is on, James. It's just been announced officially.
It's dreadfully inconsiderate. I'm giving a dinner party on Wednesday. Does it mean there'll be no deliveries? On Saturday I'm going to Wales to visit cousins.
No chance of that, my dear. From midnight tonight, all trains, buses, all public services come to a grinding halt.
Oh, not if we can help it. We'll drive the trains ourselves, won't we, James? Archie Dunlop's dying to drive one. But he'll take you to Wales, Pooh. Does he know the way? You just point the thing and follow the rails, don't you? It's easy. Well, the thought of any of my friends manning the railways fills me with absolute terror.
What happened to the talks, Hudson?
They ended in confusion. Apparently some Daily Mail printers refused to put an article which condemned the strike. Baldwin got to hear about it and sent Jimmy Thomas and company home. Far too hasty, in my opinion. I mean, nobody wants this wretched strike. They were looking to Baldwin, help them save face.
Well, it's too late now. You've put the barricades up.
Oh, don't be silly.
Why not? This is the house of a prominent member of the government. It should be one of the first targets.
Targets for what, James?
Stones, bricks, rifle shot.
Don't be so alarmist, James.
Not, I'm being practical. This has been coming since the war, and people just shut their eyes to it. Happened in Russia, it will happen here.
Of course it won't, James. None of my friends think so. They all think it's rather a lark.
A lark?
Well, nobody tells me who the fight is between. Now, the strikers say they're not against the government, but against the mine owners. But the only mine owner I know is darling, fuddled old Arthur Boroughmore, and he wouldn't hurt to fly.
It's rather more complicated than that, Prue. My chief worry is we don't know what sort of resistance they'll put up. I mean, I don't go as far as James, but there's certainly a strong feeling of resistance and in the working classes, rather like the early days of the war.
We must meet it, Father. We've got law and order on our side. It is intolerable that we should be threatened like this.
That's the line Winston Churchill's taking. The trade unions have thrown down the gauntlet. They must take the consequences.
Whatever
Well, I've no
that
time for debate now, James. Let's go to the house. Prudence, can I give you a lift?
Oh, thank you, Richard. I can see Edward is going to be much in demand. Will you hire him out?
Oh, Hudson, you heard the news? My lord, I'm deeply concerned about it. Well, let's all pull together, do what we can. Tell Edward bring the car round, will you? Yes, my lord. Oh, I was wondering about her ladyship, my lord. She was to have returned from Inverness tomorrow, but in view of the uncertainty about the tree...
Oh, my God, yes. Well, leave it to me, Hudson. I'll telephone her tonight.
Very good, my lord. Oh, one other thing, my lord.
Yes?
They have been calling on the wireless for volunteers for special constable duties. And I wondered if I might have your permission to re-enlist.
Yes. Good idea, Hudson.
Will you be volunteering?
What for?
I don't know, anything. I'm going to. Dolly says she's going to be a postman.
I wouldn't do anything so frivolous.
It's not frivolous. If they won't do the jobs, then we've got to do them instead. We'll soon find out what we're made of, and then they'll have to give in.
And do you think they're going to stand by and watch you? You'll be breaking a strike. They'll attack you. Blood is bound to be spilt.
And what do you suggest? Drive round in armoured cars?
Yeah, well, it might just come to that.
Oh, don't be silly, Danes. Not in England. Unless people like you want it to. Go round talking about Russia and blood being spilt, then of course it'll all be ghastly. Dolly said to me the other day...
Dolly, I don't give a damn what Dolly says. Listen, Georgina, a small group of people are directly challenging the authority of the government. They are deliberately trying to cripple our economy and drive us to the point of surrender. They have forced us to mass our defences, and they might just be stupid enough and misguided enough to fight us all the way. And all you and your friends can do is to regard it like some huge lark to fill the boredom of your empty lives. Well, I tell you, Georgina, it's damn irresponsible.
Pompous ass.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. You're wanting the telephone. Rose is holding on for you.
Bother it. Oh, thank you, Frederick.
Having trouble, are you?
No, it's quite all right.
I was wondering if I might join the specials as well, Mr. Hudson.
No, you are wanted here, Frederick. It is absolutely essential that you should be... Oh, thank you, Rose. Hold this.
It's Mrs. Bridges from Felixstowe.
Oh, hello. Mrs. Bridges, how are you, my dear? How's the weather in Felixstowe? Oh, we're fine. Keeping our spirits up, you know. Oh, yes, I know it's shocking, isn't it? But it all seems very calm here at the moment. What? Speak up, my dear, I can't... Oh, the trains? No, I have no information about the trains. And her ladyship is laid up in Scotland, too. Oh, well, I shall just stay on down there, my dear. Enjoy the sea air.
We can manage.
Yeah, what?
We can manage.
Yeah. Look, I've got to go now, Kate. I'll put you back to Rose. Goodbye, my dear. Look after yourself. Yes. Oh, she's worried about a fruit shortage.
Hello, Mrs. B. Rose again. Yes, we've been told not to worry. Yes, I know that, but... Yes, but the wireless says we mustn't hoard, Mrs. Bridges. We're not allowed. Yes, but we've got to do what we've been told. You silly old... Oh, have you seen Eddie, Fred?
Well, isn't he back yet?
No, he's been gone ages. He only went to get the milk.
You had to go to Hyde Park for it. They set up a centre there. Probably had to queue up. Don't worry. You're under arrest, Mrs. Barnes.
Frederick, I'll take that.
Mr. Hudson, were you going to use this truncheon on?
Anyone who misbehaves, Ruby. Now get on with your work.
Mrs. B's in a fair old state. She reckon the whole world's coming to an end and we're all going to starve.
Yeah, well, you know Mrs. Bridges, Rose. She never likes to miss a crisis. Now, I don't know what my rota of duty is yet, Rose, but you'll be in charge here while I'm gone. See that everything runs smoothly.
Yes, Mr. Hudson. Oh, Eddie's back. Eddie!
It's all right, Dave. There's nothing wrong, just a scratch.
Ruby, take some water, quickly.
Oh, did you get the milk?
Never mind the milk. Just look at him.
Yeah, I got the milk.
What happened?
Well, it's all quite peaceful in Hyde Park, really. I mean, there were crowds of people there, but I just got back to the car with the milk. Like his lordship said, there was a notice in the car saying signal for a lift. Well, this great big bloke comes across to me, 8 foot tall he was, and he sticks his head in through the window, asks me how much wages I got, then calls me a scab, and then gets hold of my nose and tries to twist it off my face. Don't laugh, Rose. It's bloody
Yeah,
painful.
it's not funny, Rose. Look, it's torn the skin right off.
Oh, well, it doesn't look too serious, Edward. Now, I must be off now and report for duty.
You be careful, Mr. Hudson.
I will, Rose, but if any hooligan attempts to twist my nose, God help him. Oh, Ruby, you...
What
pick on me? That's what I don't understand. I mean, what have I done to anyone?
He was wearing a chauffeur's uniform and driving a posh car. He reckoned you ought to be out there striking with him.
Well, that's daft, that is. I mean, we got no grievances, have we?
No, we haven't. So what are we all doing standing around like this? Ruby, get back to the kitchen. Will you be wearing this one, miss? Oh, no, Daisy, the dance has been cancelled, didn't I tell you? I'm sorry. Oh, no, I want my grey dress. I'm being taken for a drive to the East End to see what things are like. Oh, do be careful, miss. Edward got injured today. What happened? Is he all right? Oh, he got his nose injured. It was nasty. He's all right now, just a bit shaken up, that's all. I don't like him driving around in that big car. They say things are going to get worse. I'm sure they won't, Daisy. It's just people talking. I don't know what's going on, really. There's Hudson saying that all the Reds are miners and bolshies and they want to murder the government. Then Ruby gets upset because her Uncle Len's a miner. I wish I could explain it to you, Daisy, but I really don't understand it myself. Come in. Hello.
Hello.
Anything else, miss? No, thank you, Daisy. I can manage now.
Well, what have you been doing today?
Seeing my friends, deciding how we can help. By the way, Dolly isn't going to be a postman after all.
Oh, thank God for that.
She's become a train announcer at Paddington Station. And what about you?
Well, I went down to see my old regiment.
Did they need you?
No, not at the moment. No, they suggested I offer my services to the London General Omnibus Company.
And have you?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I signed on as a driver. I start in the morning.
Oh, James, that's wonderful. Oh, can I be your conductress?
No, you cannot, Georgina. This is not games. This is serious. Anyway, as a matter of fact, I've already been assigned my conductor, a young Oxford scholar. So, you'll find your own bus.
My lord, and Frederick has gone with the Major this morning on the Major's omnibus. Is Frederick a special? Oh, he has not been officially enrolled, my lord, but I understand that he is acceptable due to the shortage of specials covering the bus routes. Good morning. I'm sorry I haven't been able to talk to you before, but these are busy days for politicians. Now, I don't want to go into all the issues, who's right and who's wrong in this dispute. I'm sure you realize very clearly that for the future life and prosperity of this country, the strike must not be allowed to succeed. Nor, on the other hand, must it develop into a violent and bitter struggle between the classes. A solution will be found. In the meantime, we must show restraint and patience and good humor. Avoid trouble, if we can, in the streets. Help anyone who needs us. That's the best way you can show your loyalty to your household and to your country. Anything you want to ask me?
Yes, my lord. I'd just like to know if I should continue offering lifts to people because of what happened the other day.
Yes, my lord.
Well, I must leave that to your own discretion, Edward. I think we should offer lifts. But obviously, if there's a risk of provocation, then better to opt for peace.
Thank you, my lord.
Any trouble with food supplies? Oh, not so far, my lord.
And no increase in prices either. Funny that.
No. Easy. What about coal? We are allowed 100 weight per household per week, my lord.
Oh, I'm picking ours up this afternoon in the motor, with your permission, my lord.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Services are improving steadily every day, thank goodness. 4 days now seem to be long enough for many people to want to get back to work. I understand quite a few of the trains are now running, my lord. Will that mean her ladyship is returning? Not for the moment. No, Hudson, I spoke to her last night. Ruby, were those your apple dumplings we had last night?
Yes, my lord.
Oh, they were excellent. Mrs. Bridges would have been proud of them.
Thank you, my lord.
Yeah. Well, I must leave you to get on with your work. Let me know if you have any problems. Will you, Hudson? Very good, my lord. Good heavens.
The boy just delivered them from Searcy's, my lord. He says they're charged to our account.
Rose! Who ordered these?
I think this is some sort of joke, Hudson, I'm sure.
I'll look into it at once, my lord.
Chevy, sir.
Well, not too bad, except round corners. I said, Freddie, don't brandish that truncheon. We don't want to provoke unnecessary trouble.
No, sir.
Ah, here's some more customers.
Good morning, sir. Come along. Oh, come on, ladies. Ladies, up to the right. I'm your bus conductor, and I'll conduct you anyway you like.
Virginia, marooned in Scotland.
Well, she's quite happy to stay there. She doesn't relish the thought of the Flying Scotsman being driven by some elderly lunatic earl.
I heard the journey yesterday took 37 and a half hours. Can it be true?
Quite probably.
Thank you, Daisy. Oh, how unexpected. We discovered who they come from, my lord. They were ordered by Mrs. Bridges.
Mrs. Bridges? Good God.
She telephoned to say had they arrived safely. Well, she said there's so many dances and receptions and that would be cancelled because of the strike. The caterers wouldn't know what to do with the food, so why shouldn't we have it? What a resourceful woman.
All right, Daisy, thank you.
I have been resourceful too, Richard. You'll never guess my secret.
No, I'm sure I can't.
I've become a landlady.
What?
Yes. Quite by chance, I overheard these two lovely swagger youths who'd come down from Oxford to be guards on the Underground, complaining that they nowhere nice to stay. So I put them in Agatha's own room. But they were so polite and keen, how could I refuse? Lady Howard de Walden has 200 of them. She sleeps them in the ballroom.
Excellent idea, Prudence. Splendid.
Well, it's doing one's bit. And it won't be for long, now that Sir John Simon has said the whole thing is illegal, and we can put all those beastly leaders into prison.
You're quite wrong there, my dear. John Simon's move has caused a lot of ill feeling. The king won't have anything to do with it, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. His own subjects thrown into prison for their beliefs. That would be the end of this country.
Good day's work so far, eh? Yes, not bad. Like treat, don't you? No, it's all right, I live here. Better return the engine off, will you? We'll be back in a minute.
I say, what a jolly nice house.
Oh, hello. I just thought I'd bring my conductor back for a drink between journeys. Lady Prudence Fairfax, Andrew...
Beaufort, sir.
Yes, my father.
Hello, how are you?
Very well.
Where have you left the bus?
Outside in the street. Well, he'll be all right, will he?
I suppose so.
Andrew, what will you have?
A glass of a beer, please.
I haven't got any beer.
Oh.
Sherry?
Sherry would be very nice, thank you.
Good.
Well, have you met any troubles?
Oh, yes, do tell us your adventures.
Here, Fred, what about your timetable? Well, they don't matter. No expect delays. Cup of tea, Rose?
Have it yourself.
So.
Roses in Eton, please.
Whatever next?
The spirit of the times, Ruby.
Major's gone off his head, if you ask me. Anyone try and stop you on the bus, Fred?
No. Got called a few rude names, strike breakers and that. It was all a picnic, really. You wouldn't know there's a war going on.
There isn't. Well, there is, Rose. There's riots in the East End. They said so.
That's a very strange thing, you know, Dave. But I know I got my nose sort of tweaked the other day. And it was painful. I felt a real Charlie, but since then, driving around in the car, seeing groups of people, like bus drivers and engine drivers, just standing around out of work in support of the miners. Well, it got me thinking that perhaps we should be out there with them.
Yes, that's what I think. Are you trying to strike?
Yeah. Well, don't you think so, Fred? I mean, they're only asking for a decent living wage. Now, everyone deserves that.
Yeah, we know what it's like, don't we, Ed?
Yeah.
Don't agree with you, Eddie. None of our business. I mean, they're disrupting the country. You can't do that and get away with it.
What can you do if nobody listens?
How do you know nobody listens? Do you think people like his lordship don't listen?
Well, if he listens to them, Rose, why don't they get what they ask for?
Yeah, Rose, why? Don't ask me. Not enough to go round. Anyway, we shouldn't be speaking like this. Didn't you hear his lordship asking for our loyalty? That's a fine way to repay him.
But he's not disloyal. He's loyal as anyone.
Well, let him show it then and shut up. There's cleverer people than what you and Edward are telling us every day that it's wrong on the wireless, splaining that it's causing untold misery and hardship. And you go on talking that dribble, just don't let Mr. Hudson catch you. That's all I can say.
All right, Rose, steady on. Oh, blimey. Gee.
Oh, Daisy, there's more of these outside. Could you bring them in, please? Yes.
Virginia?
Hello, Tina. What's that bus doing outside?
Oh, we'll have to ask James about that. What are you doing?
I'm taking the British Gazette up to Manchester in Billy Holland's Bentley. He's coming to pick me up.
Very commendable. I'll walk to the house if you don't mind, Prudence. I feel like some air.
Oh, is it safe?
I think so. Nice. No sign of revolution in the streets as far as I can see.
I suppose I could always go by bus.
Risk it out, please.
Georgina Worsley. We have met, haven't we? Andrew Bowbury.
How do you do?
I'm up at New College. We met at the Commem last year. Freddie Stanton's party. Don't you remember? I'm a conductor. Ding, ding.
been on James's bus?
Yes, terrific fun.
I can imagine.
Yes. I say, you don't happen to know of anywhere I could stay, do you? I'm stuck on an absolute prison sort of a bed in the Empress Hall at the moment. It's agony.
Well, I'm afraid that it's really... Do you want somewhere to stay? Well, why didn't you say so? You can come and stay with me.
Oh, well, that's very decent of you, Lady Prudence, but are you sure?
Oh, of course I am. If you don't mind sharing a bedroom with two of your confrères. James, give the dear boy my address. I'll see you this evening, then.
There you are, Andrew. Problem solved. Come on, back to duty.
Well, perhaps some other time, then.
Come on, passengers will be waiting.
Goodbye, Georgina.
Goodbye. Oh, Daisy, would you take this to the servants' hall? They're in rather short supply, and I'm sure Hudson would like one. Thank you very much, miss.
See Harry, please. Violet. Here's another one.
What do we stop for?
Miners, will they get more money?
Of course they will, Ruby. Won't they, Mr. Hudson?
From what I gather, they'll get the same money, Ruby. They won't lose any. Listen, everybody upstanding. Wait, Frederick. Right, Frederick. Now, back to your duties, everybody. We've allowed things to become very slipshod these past few days.
Ruby's Uncle Len, Mr. Hudson.
Ah, come in, Mr. Finch, Mr. Thompson. You've heard the news, I take it?
What news?
The strike is over. It was announced 5 minutes ago on the wireless.
Yeah. You lost, I'm afraid.
It is not a question of losing, Frederick. Sir Herbert Samuel has put forward a proposal that has been accepted by all sides.
Why was it, cousin? You rejected his proposal last night. It was against everything we've been fighting for.
It demanded a reduction of wages as a basis for negotiations.
Well, that's as may be, but your leader, Mr. Thomas...
Thomas?
He's not our leader.
He's not consulted us. He's done us behind our backs. I knew he would.
But the strike's over, and people are going back to work.
We're not going back. You'll have to consult us delegates first, and rank and file. It's not over for us.
That's surely rather a narrow point of view, Mr. Thompson. And my advice to you both would be to accept the decision of the majority.
Thanks, Mr. Hudson, but we can do without your advice. Come on. Let's get back to Russell Square and find out what's going on.
Uncle Len.
Look, take these to me, man. That back in it canopy isn't Bonavent's. Well, worse to get sight of them.
Bye, lass.